Yep.
So, let us cast our mind back.
Yes. So, I'm going to try something weird. Margie, what was the last thing you remember from the last game?
I like that.
Last thing I remember from the last game.
Punching Mad Libs.
Well, let's see. We tried to draw off the
Thingy.
the big skate with the baby skate. That didn't work. Madly people were working at dropping the meteor in the convenient spot.
Bill dropped a planet on it. Yeah.
Evacuated the injured to the
No,
I always think
Back to Navarin. Not Navarin.
No, the other
Shackleton.
one, the robot.
No,
Shackleton.
we're in Shackleton.
No.
From the middle to the upper right.
No, you're right. It was the Shackleton.
Yeah, we took him to Shackleton. The really bad ones needed to go to Navarin.
Right, and that was the last sort of thing that was on my list. That there were some of them that were going to need to go to Navarin. Everybody was kind of aiming towards going back to Navarin for one reason or another.
Yes.
Sure.
We all had shopping list items or to-do list items to do, so they could be to done.
To do, to be, to done. So, that's a good one.
So yes, we're all in the city of the town Sickles.
Nice.
Did we actually go to Navarin, or are we still on the way?
I don't think we'd actually gone there. I think I was going to come back and pick people up.
Yeah, you guys had dropped off some folks at Shackleton.
Dropped off Shackleton, tried to get Nan and Leslie working together.
Yep.
And the ones that could not be handled by Shackleton's capability, we're going to ship down to Navarin, either to put them on ice, or I understand they've got a medical chair down there. So
Yes, they might.
or Nan would remind me of it if I didn't remember. It would be nice if we had that.
All right. So, where do we want to pick up at? Do we just want to be like everybody gets together at Navarin, gets on the shuttle, and heads over to
I pick everybody up in Mariposa, and then we head over to Navarin.
Yes, I had my locations backward.
This is why I asked for a map with like the details of these 3 sites. The map that we're all looking at.
Yep. No, I read them backward. All right.
And take +1 momentum for the shuttle trip, I assume.
Yep. That was if that was where we were. If that is what we were going to go with, then that was the next step.
Works for me.
So, yeah. So you guys land your shuttle at Navarin. When you're actually like well gassed, as opposed to the first time where they set you up in the kill box.
Right.
They actually have like a landing pad and everything. Like as opposed to every place else you've been on this planet, this is almost like close to normal.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Anyway, when you guys get there, it's like one of the guards comes to meet you all, and it's just like it's less to be like they are not like there to be intimidating. It's just more of like, hey, what can we do for you? So, who wants to start off with the shopping list of items at Navarin?
Go. We need to thaw some people out.
But don't worry, we have potentially some people to put back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk to what's his name. There's some things we want to get moving on. What do you think?
All right. Yeah, that is definitely a Carter decision there. As the
Yeah, I was gonna say, is boss around?
as the I forgot what title he had, but he's basically the
He's the controller.
the controller of the station. So they lead you on through down the elevator and into the control center of it.
Oh,
where
right.
you
I was gonna say. By the way, I was gonna bring my
Baby
person
skate?
with me. What?
I was gonna say the baby skate or something else.
No. Oh, what do I do with the baby skate? I think it's safe right now. It's in a dog cage.
Clear
You can leave it
plastic,
with the really injured people here on the shuttle to let them watch over it.
clear plastic tote with holes poked in it.
Yeah, very very small holes poked in it.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Margie. What were you taking with you then?
I'm losing his name right now. Hang on.
Ex-goon.
Yes, ex-goon, who is
Okay.
now not an ex-goon.
Yeah, that is going to be on the Wayfinder sheet if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's what threw me for a loop there. I was like, wait a minute.
Elijah, goon survivalist.
That's right. He's multi-classing. So
All right.
just
So
because I want to bring more of that sort of cross fertilization.
Okay. So
And I'm
Yeah.
not stupid enough to bring a crazy, angry Mariposa woman.
I mean that seems like
I think Nan is actually Nan was at Shackleton. Did we bring her back to Mariposa? Where did you want to be?
I believe that part of it was Nan going with the people who were going to get treated at Shackleton, both to kind of like learn what Shackleton could do, but also just to sort of be
sure
like
There with
Make sure they weren't eaten by robots.
Yeah. more of like
Faith.
a
That's the one I
safety
was thinking of.
overseer.
So did she remain then at Shackleton?
Yes, unless you guys had a particular reason for her not to.
I don't want her anywhere near Navarran at the moment.
And I think, wasn't there some hope? Was two things there with Nan. She was the somewhat marginally brave one. Is she with us, or is she back at Shackleton?
That's Leslie.
Leslie. I thought
Oh.
Nan was going to kind of sit there and sort of pollinate Leslie a bit with some.
Yeah, we're trying to
guts.
get them working together.
Gotcha. So Nan and Leslie, and Nan was also, I think, sort of doing a showing Shackleton what a backbone looks like.
Well, and part of it was my goal. I know that Leslie was hot on kind of everybody making friends, and Nan is kind of the biggest barrier to that in some ways.
Well, Faith is, but
excuse me.
Faith is.
I'm getting Nan and
Yep.
Faith mixed up. What am I?
Nan is the
wise
medic.
woman.
Nan is the medic. You're right. Okay. Okay.
So the good, because she does wants to take care of people. So, being friends with people kind of fits in
Right.
there.
And she's a good in for Faith, because if Faith is any kind of decent leader, she's listening to her. If her doctor, if Nan is any kind of, or sorry, if Faith is any kind of decent leader, she's listening to her medical professionals and scientists she has. Not that that's a jab at our planetary
I thought you were
leadership.
going to make a, Captain Kirk Star Trek reference.
No, it's so much easier to just jab at all the leaders who don't listen to scientists here. Anyway, or doctors. Anyway, that's where everybody was.
Mm-hmm.
Earl's got stuff to do. He doesn't really need to talk to anybody though. So if you guys want to talk to Carter, I've got more mechanical things to do that I don't know that I necessarily need to get blessings to do necessarily.
Pay no attention to me. Most can be.
Maybe I do. I don't know.
Is this more of a ask forgiveness than ask permission sort of thing for you?
Kinda.
Okay.
This is all part of my goal to get the data flow going between the three things, and that's I'm not trying to run cable. I'm not trying to do cable pulls through multiple kilometers of desert. I'm going wireless, but here at least I need to get like some connections to the data cubes, and so I can broadcast or exchange data. So I'm trying to get the antenna set up like I was working on at Shackleton, and got rudely interrupted by the mating cycle the mating cycle of the skate.
All right. So Blaze, Cortex, and Nails are gonna go have a talking with Carter at this point, then, right?
Sounds like.
Earl is going off to visit the data cube.
Yeah, and run some stuff. So yeah, I got to look up what that's gonna look like anyway. So.
All right.
And I'm going to try and figure out if they have any biologists that are already thought out, and if not, what kind of maintenance facilities they have. Because while we're here, I might try and work on the dock.
All right. Well, as the three of you who are heading to the overseer's office get there, you can see Carter kind of like in he seems deep. Like you can see like they've got their own monitor set, a set of monitors up, and say fancy technical whiteboard, the ones that are like glass where you see through both sides. And, him and a couple of people are going through doing some planning, and you can see they've got the names of the three different settlements here written up on that board. They're kind of him and two other people are going through and discussing everything with this. So when you guys come in, it's kind of everybody stops, takes a look, and is just oh, it's you folks. Yeah, come in.
Okay, good.
What do you need?
As opposed to everybody looking guilty and trying suddenly to wipe off the little skulls and crossbones they put next to the other two settlements.
No, we don't have that yet.
Well,
Yes.
we've managed to deal with the problem with the skate that was attacking.
I don't think he knew that.
As I said, wait, there was a problem with
He
skates
wouldn't have known there
attacking?
was a giant skate. He would have known that.
Yes, he is
Yeah,
not
but
aware of that situation.
it's a good conversation starter.
Oh, I see.
All right. Well, he is somewhat concerned because he believed that you all had like led the skates away from the settlements. Now he's like, so there's something we need to worry about. I thought there was going to be like some harvesting. Isn't that what Mariposa was going to be doing? Like harvesting resources from them, and now we're killing them.
I think that is still the plan, but it obviously needs a little bit more examination.
Yes, we have been deep into our examinations of what we need to do in order to move forward. Many plans are going to have to happen before things can be right again, and there are many steps for those plans. We have to think through all of these steps. Very important for us.
I agree completely. That said, there are some urgent needs that especially with with all the things that have been going on at Mariposa, that the people there have. Well, we medevaced a bunch of people out of the town when there was a threat. They're mostly at Shackleton now. People who needed medical care and so forth. But we have some that simply can't be treated by the facilities there as of yet. So we want to see how we can arrange it to make use of some of your technology here in order to help some of these worst off cases.
So you want to put them into cold storage? Well, that can certainly be arranged, but I mean, we're already running a very tight ship here. I mean, given the way things are working,
Well, I think we might have a partial way to deal with that. So I think there was some discussion potentially of some of those resources that are currently in cold sleep.
We're going to unthaw some people.
So your plan is to just unthaw some people so that you can use their cryo storage in order to
No.
put some other people in.
These are people we think that are going to be whose skills are going to be useful in doing what we think we need to do moving forward. But certainly that's part of what we want to discuss with you. We also understand that you have some medical treatment technology that might be helpful for the Mariposan who aren't in a serious enough state that they need to go into cold.
And he kind of like paused on that one for a second. It's just like, well, that depends. I mean, it seemed like your own augmentation abilities were much better than the cybernetics we were able to employ here, as I can attest to.
And that is certainly another resource that we're looking at, but that's got limitations as well. And really, what we're trying to do, in addition to whatever resources we can provide to you, is make it so that there is this mutual assistance, mutual dependency between your communities, so that your people are
More sustainable.
Sustainable because you're united in the effort for your mutual survival.
Well, I heard. Mutual effort is going to help with our power concerns, but I am willing to hear these out.
Well, before we say much else, I got to say that we're coming in and we're messing with a bunch of stuff that you folks have lived with for generations, hopefully for the better. But we also need some of the expertise and shared history and wisdom that some of your cold sleep people have. I think everyone here is willing to admit that we don't know everything about this planet, and I don't think we're trying to pretend to. So we got to work with you as well. Like we are part of this system too for right now.
All right. What is it you need? Let's start.
As far as the go ahead.
Oh no, I was cutting and pasting something. I hit the wrong control key. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I don't recall specifically the talent that we were looking to be able to draw on. So.
Oh, yeah. So we're trying to get power distribution going between the settlements. We want the people who are familiar with medicine. We're also looking for people who can eventually guide us back to getting the gate reopened, and that means anybody familiar with space, ship pilots, astrogators, or anybody else.
Do we want let them know that we've successfully? I'm not there, so I can kibitz from the side. Successfully, connected into the meteor satellite control?
I got the feeling they had already figured that out, but yeah, like we can explicitly call them if they have not. Mike, is that correct, or did they not get that?
They saw it work once. Working once and having control are two completely different things.
Then I'll just keep going in character. We could also probably use some more people who know about the vault technology. I was able to get it working in that one instance. It was a little cobbled together at the time because we were under time constraints. But somebody who knows more about that system would be very valuable.
Carter's kind of like, yes. So we should be able to find somebody from around those times who might be able to give some knowledge on or share some knowledge about the protection satellite. Might be, he's gonna have to go through and see what the records say for like people who actually have like any association with that. So that one's gonna take some hunting down.
We'd help with that. That gets us gathering information, maybe something like that. Moves things along.
Sorry, my screen just like dropped out on me, so came back, but it was just like very odd. So
I managed to shock mine and reset it about once a night.
I did.
No, it's great. It's cost me 2 mice so far. That's why I've switched to wireless mice, because it's cost me 2 mice so far. Fairly expensive ones. So.
Wow.
Yep.
What do you do? Like run around in fuzzy socks?
No, I really don't. I try to be quite careful, and I wiped out.
What was the character? Was it Justin's friend? The static electricity character covered in carpet. His superpower was.
I don't remember.
Oh God,
that.
yeah. No, it was in the Tick.
In the Tick.
Oh,
like yeah. Elon was the muesli guy.
Muesli.
Oh, that guy. I know that.
I just when you say that, I was just thinking of
Interesting.
Your superpower, killing your machine.
Carpeted man.
Wow.
A member of the civic-minded 5.
That is a thing. So that's possibly gather information. I'm just I don't know if it's worth springboarding off of that at all or anything. Because we had been here before once, right? And we'd seen both the cryo things and well as the data cubes. Because I remember rummaging around for a few coordinates and that sort of thing before previous. Gotcha. Are there librarians, guards, or is it largely just people leave it alone because it's a bunch of block cubes or data cubes and everyone just kind of leaves it? I don't know how much. What must they overcome for rummaging to begin?
No, it is primarily a handful of like technicians just there to make sure nothing breaks it down.
Gotcha.
These are the people who are just like running regular maintenance on everything.
Didn't you use your connection last time to help help find the order in the disorder?
Yeah, I did. Well, I did. I pulled some data out of here. So yeah. If you're still talking to Carter, keep talking to Carter. Otherwise, we can cut to me finding out whether or not I need to like actually schmooze these guys, or if they're just going to let me get back in here and do some more stuff.
What is the name of your AI?
Algo.
Algorithm.
Yeah, Algo.
Right. Yeah, because last time you used Algo to help figure out where you needed to go.
Right.
Yeah. Because there is quite a bit of the best way to phrase it. There is much data.
There's much data.
There's much data in many places. Very little of it actually like connected to one another.
Right.
And so it's going to it's less about you having to schmooze your way in and more of you having to hunt down exactly what you need.
Well, I'm not so much trying to. Well, okay, So I have 2 pieces to this, I think, that are probably relevant. And one is a gather information, but it's not really like I'm trying to gather a specific piece of data about out of the database. I'm trying to figure out how it's sort of physically laid out in a network admin sense of where are the gaps that I need to connect. And I realize there's a ton of them. But this thing at one point in time was meant to be accessed.
So mechanically, I suggest a secure an advantage, which is allow you to do the gather information check. Does that make sense?
Yeah, either that or I was thinking of at the very least, there's somewhere in here a gather information of like, oh, I need to connect a bunch of data cables here and get them blah. And now I understand that gather information give me that thing. And then there's the face danger of getting the thing all set up and set up to an antenna on the surface kind of deal. But if there's a security advantage in there too, Mike, that makes sense too. Like just figuring the shit out is fine. Or compel to get these guys to get out of my way or help. There's a lot of pieces to this.
There are a lot of pieces. Which piece do you want to start with? Again, there's way too much area for any one person to be causing you any like grief over what you're trying to do here.
Well, in that case, what I'd like to do is I've got an asset here out of my scavenger where I'm trying to gather information by scavenging through an abandoned site. Because I feel like I'm not trying to understand the whole bloody thing. I'm trying to figure out the bit that I need, because that's kind of where that's his sweet spot. So I'm like, that right there, that's an access port. If I can get that up to an antenna, then I can have Algo take a look. If I can get that up to an antenna, I can have Lincoln take a look, provided there's passwords in place. You know, that kind of stuff. So I'm not.
Definitely.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that sounds like a thing.
Okay, so I'm going to use gather information, and when you gather information, scavenging or abandoned site, add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. So I'm rolling wit. Get back over to my summary thing, and my modifier is 1 because of the thing, and it beat, and that is a 9.
That is a very good hit.
That is a palpable hit.
Yeah. So on a strong hit, you discover something helpful or specific. So you're taking 3 momentum overall,
which is lovely. Great. The path you follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. Envision. Okay. So I feel like a lot of what is being done in here is being done manually, like accessing stuff. People are like trying to figure out like, oh, this cube has this information. We can bring along these little handheld two-flinky tricorder things and access this particular cube, and this gets us this information. What they're failing to grasp or unable to do anything with is the fact that there's like a larger scaffolding to the whole thing that allows gestalt access, and if you have the right tools for it. In the same sense that this thing constantly feels like, you know, 3 different these different settlements feel like different pieces of the same puzzle. That access tool is probably someplace. That princess is in another castle. So how do we get these pieces talking to each other? So I'm like, there's the access port, right? So now cabling, and I haul out. You know, I drop the big plastic crate with the cabling or whatever that I've got off the shuttle, and start looking around for the other cabling that I could probably use that's already in the area, and start stringing that stuff up to get a connection where I can get it up to the top and start testing, you know, okay, can you hit, you know, bit 15? I'll go. Can you do this? Can you do that? So 2 questions. 1, do I keep going with another roll? And 2, if I do, is that like a face danger? I'm not sure what that is for. I guess it's face danger?
Well, allow me to tell you a couple of different things.
Okay.
So as you're going through here,
gotcha.
None of this order system made any sense to you.
Yeah, I'm not even trying to figure that part out, really.
So you finally do.
Okay.
And that is, each of these data banks that you're going through isn't sorted by topic or anything like that. It's sorted by the decade in which the data was entered.
Just understanding that and seeing how many there are is, in a way, it's almost comforting, because it's like being on an observation deck in a ship and looking at space and going, wow, that's big. And I like being in space. And this feels like, holy shit, that's big. And it's kind of like being in space, because there's so much of it.
What's the Animaniacs song about? You know.
So
universe.
So this goes back. This goes back a long way, but it's also basically organized like a diary.
Kind of. Like, yeah, this is literally like, you know, History of the Planet, Volume 8, Volume 7, Volume 6.
Okie doke. All right.
Somewhere on page 3,247, it talks about the time that they actually did some repair work on the vault.
Yeah.
Useful.
And who did it?
You run into 2 problems with this.
Yeah.
And this is where your thing comes in. 1, it does look like all of these should be interconnected to begin with.
Right.
But they're not.
Gotcha.
2, in your hunting, you're missing 3 volumes.
That's not great.
And you're not sure. You eventually are like able to figure out topographically. It's like, okay, if I need that, like if I need air,
This
information
rough era,
from
yeah.
this era, I need to be somewhere around in this area of, the settlement.
And that filing
And
cabinet drawer is not so much empty as just missing.
Yeah, it is definitely like, okay, it should be somewhere in this section.
There's
All
like
that's here are freezers.
So there's like physical
Does
objects
it look like
that
it
are missing.
used to be there and got moved, or just it was misfiled?
Therein lies a great question.
Yes.
And that could be your method for like going forward is hunting down where these missing ones are and possibly finding out if that's where like the missing interconnects are, or if it winds up being that it's like these were removed for a certain reason.
Okay. I mean, social interactions have been going so well for me so far. So you're saying basically I can go and I feel like my options are I can go physically hunting around down here in the guts of the place, or I can go up and talk to Carter and say, hey, so this, and these locations here aren't here. Where are they at? Because they're specifically the pieces I need.
Yep.
And it's not
one of those two.
That's
is
true?
probably-
Okay.
Yep. One of those two methods is going to lead you to something. So you're sure that one or both of those is going to do something. Like
Yeah. So
you're going to get answers one way or another here.
I'm either Tony Stark spying on Nick Fury on the carrier, or I'm Captain America breaking into the storage room to find the weapons. I am a scavenger. I'm going to go looking through stuff rather than talk to people, because honestly, talking to people thus far has been a fucking circus for me. So.
Well, and you are probably feeling a bit dispirited about everything.
Indeed, I am. I would happily, need a win. So I have a. I don't know if this is directly toward this. Okay, talk to me about this real quick. I have a vow to get the Navaran Knowledge Vaults online and open to the company. Did that gather information? Is that movement on that? And I say this because it's troublesome, and if so, that's a big jump to figure this out. But it also means that it's probably going to resolve relatively quickly. Knock on wood, if I don't screw up my dice rolls. Does that make sense as a jump? Feels like it's a big thing, but I don't know.
Allow me to ask you two things. One, do you feel like you've solved a mystery?
I feel like I found out that there is a mystery. So.
And two, do you think you've overcome? So by finding out that there's a mystery, would you say that you've overcome a critical obstacle?
Well, let's give it another one. I want to go. I'm gonna go digging. I don't think so.
Okay. So what is your plan for digging?
That's a good question.
Something that you need my help on?
Is it time to come over to
Yeah.
Nails and be like, hey, do you want to help me hunt through this place?
Yeah, actually. Hey, Nail, and this conversation was like we cut to her and like it comes over. Hey, Nails, you got a bit to come down here into the data banks? And we cut, and she's however she responds. We cut back to me, and I'm actually like elbow deep in the crate, and I've grabbed like one of those, like I talked about, like some sort of tricord that they use to access individual data blocks or whatever. I've got that, and I'm also putting some other stuff, like clicking that into place on a couple of extra nodules. So I'm turning it into something slightly else. Yeah, we're gonna do a little hunting down here. Hopefully for something doesn't hunt back. You want to come down?
Sure. You're looking at the data cubes, right?
Yeah, looking for now.
Can I add something to your search list?
I mean, why not?
I'm looking about some biology on the skate, while we're here, but not a high priority as getting the power on.
That's probably about 300, 400 years ago. That'd be right about it. Yeah, I think I can figure out where that's at. Because you have to locate it temporally. What? All right.
Okay. So there's people who keep their toolbox really, really neat, and they know where everything is. And then there's people who have a mental map, a visual map of where they set their tools down. They can also immediately reach for where their tool is.
Yeah.
It just depends upon what kind of person you are.
You're
obviously not a mental map person.
No. There's a interesting thing about sort of ADHD stuff where people talk about how like certain kinds of mess will bother them and certain kinds of mess don't. And it all boils down to whether or not the mess was created by you or whether it was created by somebody else. If the mess that is a bunch of little piles on your desk is your mess. You know where everything is, so nothing feels messy because you know where it is. If it's somebody else's stuff and there's just like a random thing on the desk that isn't where it feels like it should be, that's got to change. And it may be as simple as picking up and putting it where you think it needs to be. That's still messy someplace else on the desk, as long as you now control where that placement was.
I
It is
don't know anybody in this household who feels that way.
blink, blink,
No, not
blink,
at
blink,
all.
blink, blink, blink.
Not at all.
You blink fast when you're lying. Okay. Let's go back. I've got another of my asset moves that I'm going to roll into this. But while she's coming down there, let's cut away. I've had enough time.
By the way, Joyce, just so you know, think about it this way: it's less that these were like stored serially, and more of like you're looking at backup tape for files changed in between blah and blah.
So somebody like
Use her metals.
their system, and I'm using air quotes in the most like aggressive way possible, but their system is the very first ones were like, just put them down on that floor and all the way back. We're not going to need those in a while. Well, we get another batch of those. All right, just put them down on that floor and go back as far, and they've just been piling them up from the back wall forward until they stop figuring out how to do backup. Or maybe the backups have been happening automatically.
Or you just haven't found the index yet.
Sure. I mean, I'm hoping it's that second one.
Not in a data cube. It's in one of the cryo freezers.
I'm more likely to think that it's that the index will happen once Elgo can get in here and start making an index. But anyway. But yeah, maybe there is one. That'd be great, even if it's incomplete. Anyway, cutting away from me and
All right.
stuff.
So, we've got we've got Cortex and we got Blaze in the Overseer's office. What do you do?
Well, I was getting the sense from him earlier that he definitely, anything that we do, he wants to really plan it out thoroughly. Like,
Yes, he is definitely a planner.
he's definitely a planner.
And he is a planner with a decades-long view on things.
I was going to say, from a ingrained that it's all about long-term planning.
This worries me a bit since we've got like actual people that need help. So we need to identify, for the sleepers, we need to identify who might fit into some of these categories, so that we can, both make use of their talent and so that we then also have access to the cold sleep tank. In the meantime, go ahead.
That Faith mentioned that they'd found like a healing capsule, not one of the cryo tanks.
Right, they've got, yes. In the meantime, yeah, now that they find one, it got stolen from them by these guys. I haven't mentioned that aspect of that.
I just was making sure I wasn't misremembering something.
Sorry, cute cat.
No cute cat, only cat.
Oh, but this one is lying on the floor playing with her little exploding bomb that actually has catnip inside of it.
And it's all fuzzy right now.
And is all fuzzy and being very cute and or drunken. So again, I understand you've also potentially got some actual medical treatment technology that we may be able to apply to some of the cases that simply can't be handled by the systems over in Shackleton. And if so, we've got some people that could use that help pretty quickly, I should think.
All right. Well, Carter, as you're bringing this up, is like, yeah, we can take him down to medical, and just to expedite things, he'll take you down to medical. You see what they have in medical. You're pretty sure you have better than their medical on the shuttle.
No.
Is that because they're under equipped, or because their equipment is not in good shape?
Basically, they're under equipped. Like, basically, it would be the equivalent of you guys being used to your 21st century medicine, and then you walk into a place where it's like 1940s style. It's like people don't even wash their hands. Like,
Okay. 1940s, we had penicillin. You gotta go back farther than that before they didn't wash their hands.
Yeah, they had penicillin, but that was about it, and it's in glass hypos that have to be autoclaved between uses.
yeah, it's like it'll do the job. It's just it's like
You got
you guys have.
syphilis, they can treat you, but if it's anything more complex,
Yeah.
probably
Do
not.
I see anything that resembles the healing pod, healing chair, wherever it was that
No, you do
Mace
not
was
see
going on about?
anything that would mesh up with the vault tech that you had seen before in Mariposa. And that, from the sound of everything, that's what you're looking for, is something
that is kind of what I am looking for.
Or expecting.
So I understand, Carter, that
Okay.
Kenichi has decided it looks like it'd be a fun idea to chew on Margie's Sudoku book. Rip it to shreds, excuse me.
rip and tear,
So-
rip and tear.
So, Carter, I understand that there is other technology that you have here that originally was in the hands of the Mariposa.
You can see him like a bit baffled by this. He's just like, if we had that, do you think I would have, or actually, it's like, what would we need from like what sort of technology would the Mariposans have that we would need?
And I again don't recall exactly how it was described, but
Basically, it was the way that it was described to you by Nan was the Nevarans came, had them dig up something, had them use it, and then took it. And this would be the start of the rift between the Mariposans and the Nevarans.
yeah, that part I've got straight, which is why I've been kind of trying to be a little circumspect about this. But
I think we just have to be direct and go, listen, what happened?
the Mariposans told us that you came to their settlement, helped direct a dig. Your people, not necessarily you specifically, helped direct a dig to find healing capsule, healing chair, healing item of some sort, medical technology, and then left with it.
And you can kind of see him like putting this all together. He's like, okay, that. So that was the incident between the fifth overseer and the Mariposa. That was a messy situation.
That wasn't
I mean,
him? Because it sounded like they got shot in the face.
Even going to bring it up, he's just like, that's what led to the death of the fifth overseer. That's why he left the notes to just leave those people alone for the next 5 or 6 generations.
Well, I can understand, and because everyone here has been dealing with things as from a position of scarcity, that would, those sorts of things could happen. But I think that it could be a remarkable way of beginning to heal some of those rifts if that technology could be used on behalf of people from Mariposa who are suffering.
Well, I would certainly help, but I don't have it.
Happened to it.
Well, I didn't know it existed. We know that the fifth overseer had contacted the Mariposans in order to try and get information on the vault to see if they could reestablish communication with the satellite. But there was no talk about any healing pod or any technology recovered. Mostly what we were just left with was some vague warnings to avoid them and a bunch of directives that came along with it.
So those they don't show any record that they actually took anything. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Carter is completely ignorant of any of this stuff. He just seems like he is like.
Does that correspond to any of the missing data cubes that have been identified? Oh wait, we're not there. Never mind.
I bet it would.
No.
But
I was going to say that is certainly an idea.
Yeah, I was kind of. If we start talking about, information is missing.
Yeah, I'm hoping to find some of it before I start. Like, hey, this has been a problem.
I mean, so I'm pretty well. Am I pretty well convinced that he's being upfront with me?
He seems to be like
Okay.
You can definitely tell when it comes to a lot of things. Carter kind of has his own. He has like his own like agenda when it comes to things. This doesn't seem like one of them, at least so far. He would be full of a lot more bluster if he was trying to keep something from you. Right now, he's just like, no, doesn't sound like it. Like that just sounds like some some crazy Mariposan like made up legend. Those people are kind of just savages.
Yeah, but this is the kind of thing that people remember for a long, long time.
I have a different
And
angle.
wasn't it
But
What's
I
up,
was
Bill?
I do have an idea, but go ahead, Bill.
While we were working on getting things working in the vault, um, actually, I guess three people were working on that, but Earl and I were probably most involved in the technology. Did we get the feeling that there was like missing pieces of that system that might account for this story?
Not where you were. Like, where you were in the vault had been like that one was like fresh. Like you did think that like it was possible for access to the vault from the area that they had talked about, but I don't think anyone ever actually investigated that.
Okay. Does the vault itself have some sort of internal security records, and would those go back far enough to cover this period of time?
Not that you had found.
But it's possible.
It is possible that those exist.
Okay. Do we currently have remote access to the vault via all the stuff that we've set up?
Does that sound like something you would have set up?
I was explicitly making connections through Lincoln for all the different systems that we were passing through. So yeah.
Sounds like it then.
Okay. I'm going to go work on that angle while these guys negotiate with Carter.
Okay. So
At this point, we're down to these guys being me.
There you go.
But that's okay. Are any of your people who are awake right now, among folks who would have been there at the time all of this happened with the fifth overseer?
no.
We might want to put them on the list of people to potentially want to talk to, because if your people have this technology and don't know it, or for some reason I can't think of what it could be, but this could be groundbreaking for your people as well as for all the rest of your people here on this world.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like something that you guys should do. So, Dave, it sounds like you have a group of people, like a selection, like a broad selection of people that you kind of want to see if you can find.
Yes.
All right, that sounds like some gather information.
Ooh.
Now, you also have Carter here. Carter, who is one of your. He's not a connection yet. He's a connection. He's not a bond. So if you're using his help to try and find these people, you do get a +1 bonus on.
And if I do that, does that? I can't remember if this is where potentially it burns that connection.
No, in fact, it'll strengthen it.
Oh, okay. Well, sure then. I will make use of his knowledge of these systems and.
Yeah, one of the develop your relationship triggers is leveraging their help. In which case, you would tick up Carter a few more boxes.
Okay, I'm happy to do that, and so I'll take then a +1 from that. I think you can only secure advantage once, right?
You can secure advantage as much as it can work in the fiction.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know. It really depends on what you're trying to do in order to secure an advantage.
I was going to draw on my faith, and just as my devotion to my faith helps me in charting the course for a ship, so may my eyes and my hands be guided to find the people that we're seeking, so that I can fulfill my vows to the people who are on this world.
Sounds like a thing.
Okay. So I want to secure an advantage then to use for my gather information.
Yep.
Okay.
So you're rolling +heart.
Roll +heart. Here's my character sheet. I need to go to the other page because everything is over there. And because this is that roll, I'm not taking any advantage. I don't get any advantage on it. So I just.
All right. So you can either take +1 to your roll.
Which would be a second +1 with his assistance.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, getting a strong hit isn't going to help here. All it's going to do is get you more momentum.
Right. Which I would be burning up by doing that. So I might as well hold on to that for the roll that I actually want to make.
Yeah. So it's going to be wits. You get +2.
So I also hold on a sec. Okay, so on a hit, I'm already maxed out on wisdom,
Yeah.
and on momentum and spirit. Okay. Never mind. So I will go ahead and do.
You could give me some.
You just gotta burn that momentum eventually, Dave.
Well, I know, but I want to use it on I need to use it on an important role. If I use it, then it'll be all gone, and I'll have to get it back.
Oh my God.
I
See,
understand.
There's a comic about this where people are like, okay, so teaching the player early on in the video game, so this thing is somewhat rare, so you want to husband this and use it only when it's necessary. Gotcha. Never use it. You have an end of the game. You have 88 of these. It's the final boss fight. Yeah, but I might need it later.
No. You have 99 ethers. But I can't buy them in stores. It's the final boss.
It's the final boss. Just do it.
And don't forget, Dave, like your assets that you've also gotten basically just give you all the momentum to begin with.
Yep. No, I understand. But since I'm about to make a key roll, I would rather have the momentum.
Oh no, that's fine.
Going into that.
Yeah,
So I will go ahead
fine.
and make my gather information roll, and that's a wits roll. Okay, so summary screen, do a wits roll, but I'm at +2 on that, which hopefully will help. Yeah.
Yep, that helped as much as it could help.
And I didn't have to use any of my precious momentum.
Oh my God.
All right, that also gives you a mark on Carter's connection, which I have already done. So you guys are at 8 out of 10.
Nice.
0 out of 10 with faith.
0 out of 10 with faith still.
Although I think taking care of her folks and getting them healed up, that should be a big hit with her.
Now 8 out of 10 is pretty good. I don't know that we're in a rush to get him.
Oh yeah, no. If you want to make a bond with him right now, commiserating with him over going through all this information, definitely might be the time.
So let me make a note here on my gather information. Yeah, I will go ahead and do that.
All right. So on the Wayfinder sheet, under the Progress tab, what you want to do is hit Conclude under Carter.
Connection. Carter, the Cryo Overseer. Okay, so I got a weak hit on that.
You did. So let's find out what happens on a weak hit with that under connection. So when you forge a bond on a weak hit,
I've done this before. They ask something of me first. That's how I ended up in trouble with Faith.
That's how you wound up having to deal with Faith because of Leslie.
Right.
Yep. Don't worry. This one is very straightforward. So
can you get me a cup of coffee?
It's not that.
Sugar on that? Okay.
All right. We're gonna cycle back to your gather information here, and then we're also going to roll in this forge a bond roll here too. All right. So you guys start looking. Finding astroscientists. Easy. There's not a lot of them, but easy enough. Finding people with the associated with the vault. Harder. Apparently, a lot of bad stuff happened with that. And also, along the lines, a few people's pods wound up failing along the way. So it's a little less. Getting people who were around during the fifth overseer's tenure. Damn near impossible.
Interesting.
Suspiciously so.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Does that seem?
All right. The only people that you still have from the fifth overseer's tenure is a couple of guards who were only there for the last couple of weeks of it. Everybody else had been went back into cryo. Some have been lost, outside of cryo, and so are just listed as missing that way, like an MIA sort of listing for those.
Gotcha.
But everybody else who made it back into the chiropod, every single one of those had failed.
That seems
one or two kind of fits a pattern. This is just suspicious.
Yeah.
And you can see as you are going through this worries Carter. He's okay, this isn't right.
Is he overseer number 6?
7.
7.
There's an overseer between him and 5.
Okay.
What happened to him?
Oh, he's in freeze.
But he wouldn't have been awakened until after.
Well, no, usually.
Well, if 5 died, then they would have unfrozen 6.
Right.
Yeah, usually there's he knows he's been through this process. He knows it's there's a rollout period where it's okay, overseer in and overseer N+1 kind of like have like a meeting of the minds, and they're like, okay, here's your job, here's everything you need to do, here's everything you need to not break. Like, there's like a month or two of like orientation.
Here's the 10-year plan, the 50-year plan, 100-year plan.
Yeah.
Knowledge transfer, handoff.
Yeah. So that normally happens.
But it didn't happen in this case because
yeah.
the fifth
5 and
overseer
6
got
were
back.
like definitely like the 5 to 6. There was something lost during all that.
Yeah, but somebody would have had to still unfreeze whoever was part of 5. So I mean, there had to be some.
Yes. But anyway, Blaze. Again, all this worries Carter. Like there's statistical anomalies, and then there's this. So what he's going to ask you is like, all right, this is important. This could mean anything. I need your help in order to help me figure this out. So
we will definitely figure this out. And I will say that as a vow if need be.
Yep. I don't know if you need another vow for that, because you guys kind of already have some vows in that neighborhood. But I will leave that up to you.
Well, for me, I've got Gate, Shackleton's Anonymous, getting Nan's medical help. The Mariposa seriously injured, Healer injured in Navarin. And I guess that's going to contribute to those. So maybe I don't need an additional vow. You get that balance of what makes sense and what having too few or too many. I
also feel like you guys are like on the route to figuring all this out too. So it's like
sure. Is there any way to determine if there's any sort of pattern as to who was up when these, the various times that these cryotubes failed? In other words, did they all fail in short order? Did they fail over time? But there was at least this one person who was awake during that entire time.
It would have been like a period over like the course of a year, following the 6th Overseer's tenure.
During or following?
During.
Okay. I was going to say, because if it's following, then I'm looking back at Carter again. Whatever happened to the 6th Overseer? Is he...
Oh, yeah, he's in cryo.
So, out of curiosity, like, so there's a sequence of overseers, like it's mapped out who's overseer 7 and 8 and 9.
Oh yeah, there is like a list of like potential overseers who are just like, all right, you have the skills, the training, or the knowledge in order to probably like, or the personnel, to handle this job.
Does the current overseer pick a name from the list, or is it here's the order in which they're going to be taken?
No, it's like pick a name from the list, and even Carter's like, oh no, I wasn't like the first candidate, I was like the third candidate. Like, as the overseer goes, like as one overseer goes to pick the next one, there's like there's a bit of a selection process where it's just like, okay, you don't seem like you can handle things. That's okay. Like, no fault on you. We're gonna go with somebody else.
Well, and I imagine also that in picking the next overseer, you may pick somebody with certain types of attributes for what you need at the exact time.
When you say you were third, you mean like on the list you were third, or
no? It's like they went through like partial training with the first couple. It's like they just weren't going to cut it in the 6th Overseer's opinion. He's like, there's no shame in that one.
Did they get refrozen?
Yeah.
Do you know what the criteria were that they failed on?
It was probably something along the lines of like isolation for a long period of time. Because let's face it, these people don't exactly have social life.
No, that makes sense. I was just wondering if there were official evaluation notes, or if there was something that was about Carter that led him to be picked.
No, there's no official thing, and if it's asked, it's like you can basically be like Carter, just being like, "Oh yes, I have a single-minded focus. I'm dedicated to my job."
It says so in my eval that I looked up after I was given the job when I had security clearance to see it.
Right. Okay. I'm going to ponder this. What next questions to pursue on this? But I will let the rest of the team know what we found so far, and the missing health capsule, and the fact that all the witnesses seem to be dead.
Oh, I will also say this, just as another thing, because I wasn't thinking about this along the way. This is how, or vows are how you get XP. So if you do want like some cheap and easy XP for doing this, it is possibly another thing that might lead you to swearing a vow here.
Sure.
All right.
I've got a whole bunch of troublesome vows. And I don't want to make this not a troublesome one because this sounds like it's prerequisite for the others, but I'm just kind of making that observation.
And this one might just wind up going on like the Wayfinder sheet because it sounds like everybody's involved in this particular brouhaha.
That's fine. Want me to type that in?
I can type, or well, yeah, you can type it in. It's just a question of rolling the heart for the vow. And you're swearing it to a connection, so add +1.
Ooh, he's a connection, but he's not a bond.
Correct.
Oh, come on.
Looks like you needed that. All right, so you are emboldened, and it's clear what you need to do next. And it sounds like you did, based on the talk you guys all went through. Of you trying to like. Sounds like everybody is like on the same page for this. All right, so let me cut over. Bill, you wanted to get some information.
Yep.
All right. So what are you doing, and what are you trying to accomplish?
All right. So previously, we had done a lot of work to get Lincoln access to all the different settlements' computer systems. We've gone down there to tie them into the vault system as well. We'd still had the cutoff switches that we've established early on, but then we got the planetary government and defanged Lincoln a little bit. But those links should still be there. So my reasoning is that even if there's a murder mystery going on here, and the Navarans, of that time, murdered everybody who might have talked or might have spilled the beans or was interested or whatever is going on, the systems in the vault probably are more reliable witnesses. In other words, there might be evidence within those systems that will tell us what was taken, or how it was taken, or why it was taken. And so what I'm looking for is that sort of evidence.
Yeah, that is definitely all. That definitely sounds like something you might be able to get. What with the help that you have from, the overseer Lincoln, as well as your connections into the vault's system. That definitely sounds like a gather information roll. Would you like roll? All right. So on a weak head, the information provides some new insight, but also provides some complication. All right. So as you're kind of like going through this, downside of this entire thing, you got to interact with Lincoln a little bit. Upside, Lincoln seems like a little less Lincoln-y than normal. Like you've definitely done him the benefit of like reconnecting him partially with his satellite. He is very happy about that information, and he's willing to like be like, oh yeah, you need something from these systems? I remember these systems like the back of my hand. I can go through these. Okay. I don't have access to all the systems that I remember having access to. But I do have
that's
some.
what I want to know,
Yeah, as he's going through, he kind of like pulls up some information. He's like, okay, so given the time criteria you've given me to look through, I can definitely see some access. It doesn't look like it's to a medical vault. It looks like it's to a research station. And it looks like it is, and he kind of like spiels off like this, like, this research category number, and it's just like, it was an object that was under research by scientists pre-fault, gate closure time.
So I'm sorry. Are you implying that it's related to the prehistory?
It is something that would have been related to, say, the same people who made the vault in the first place.
Okay. So what I'm assuming is that the Navarans either lied to the Mariposans about what they were there for, or the Mariposans just drew the wrong conclusion.
Possibly both. However, the pertinent points of information that you are able to gather from all of this is, the data that Lincoln is able to pull on this does kind of back up. It's like, all right, there was a healing, there was something that was a healing pod it did some very interesting things to all the test subjects. In that it made them very like highly vital. Like, basically they were highly resistant to the effects of aging up until they died.
Okay, so it was medical technology that was under research then.
Correct.
Okay, that's helpful. Do we have a physical description of this thing?
Yes, and it's kind of what you're expecting for this, kind of like a bed-like sort of like a bed sort of object that would have enclosed the person inside of it for a time. What the best thing that you're able to get out of here for how it worked or something is it seemed to inject the person that was under who was being treated in it with some sort of nanite.
Okay, good to know.
Barring what you guys know, nanites are a little bit beyond, casual use of nanites are a little bit beyond your guys' level of technology. So this would have been a really big breakthrough if they had gotten to research it more.
Okay. And they didn't research it because bad things happened.
The downfall of society, as you guys know it.
Gates closed.
So the Navaran facility is led by Carter. Carter is blind unless he jacks it. Carter can manipulate, can work his way through this facility. It follows that there's cameras all over this place.
Yes.
So if I feed the image of this thing into our computers and give it access to the cameras of this place, if I can get that access, I can do basically a surveillance sweep for something that looks like the object that we're looking for.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
All right. And I'm going to I'm going to definitely give you the complication that'll go along with this, because it's probably going to be Lincoln basically running through all of this as he's kind of okay, you've given him the image, you've given him the time period, start searching through these databases. At which point Lincoln's like, I can't do that, Chief.
All right, what's wrong?
So all the data banks that's a good one, Dave. That's a good picture, Dave. In the Discord. He's kind of all the data banks you give me access to, where you don't have anything for that time period.
Oh, that's fine. I'm looking for right now. I'm assuming this pod is still here on the premises. If it's not, that's one thing.
Okay. So you just basically want him to scan through the entire facility to see if he can find it.
You got it.
Okay. That's also a no.
Although the other information is useful too.
Yes.
So if it's not on camera in this facility, then we can also assume that there's parts of this facility that don't have camera coverage for whatever reason, right?
That is a possible conclusion.
Or they, instead of dying, they actually took this away somewhere with them.
That's entirely possible, but I'm trying to eliminate possibilities here.
Go with the obvious first.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to get a list of the places that do not have camera coverage. I'm going to relay this to my crew, to my crewmates, and suggest, if we're not sure why this is going on, maybe we can check these places to see if we can find this thing, and maybe that'll tell us something.
Well, I will say, one, this is probably you definitely have solved a mystery, or you've kind of gotten a bit of information here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark some of this solve the mystery of the dead fifth overseer's dead staff as a thing. And then two, Bill, this sounds like you're definitely trying to secure an advantage for your teammates Earl and Nails here.
Yep.
So if you'd like to roll that, this is probably wits based, unless you got something else in mind.
No, that sounds good. Holy shit.
That was close. All right. So would you like to hand over a +1 or give them momentum?
What do you folks need more?
If I'm the one that's going to be doing the thing, probably momentum.
All right, there you go.
All right.
All right.
I'll hand that.
Take
update
your
it.
2 momentum.
2.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Actually, let's see if this works really quick before you put in your 2 momentum dice.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Yes,
All right. Did it change on your sheet?
it did. I watched it happen.
Okay. Cool. I did it via the token.
Nice.
Very cool.
Token actions are a great thing. All right. So Earl, you and Nails have rendezvoused.
Yes.
You've gotten this information. I'm going to guess all this sounds very hinky to you.
Yeah, profoundly hinky. But it kind of gives some context for it certainly explains, or it's a possible explanation for what I'm seeing down here. So okay. So what I'm looking to do is like the reason I was grabbing this kind of like cube access thing, and I'm adding an extra antenna on it and some other I'm cobbling crap to kind of scan through for this thing as I do. What I'm looking to do is when you face danger to cobble together an ad hoc tool or device. Now, I'm saying face danger because it occurs to me that wherever this stuff is at, it's probably all in the same place, and it may have been set aside in such a way that it would not be found, and anybody who found it would regret it.
Apparently possible.
Like someone put traps there to dissuade
Yeah,
random purpose. Yeah.
that
Booby
kind
trap.
of crap. So I'm, cobbling together with the eye towards, this will tell me where this thing is at without me having to actually be close enough to touch the sodding thing. Thus possibly, hopefully, avoiding whatever the hell they did or didn't do to it. Maybe there's nothing there. I don't know. But
so you want to build yourself like some sort of sensor.
yeah, when you face danger to cobble together an odd hack tool or device, roll
for a
blah blah blah.
minesweeper.
Yeah, but well, it's a scanner, but it's the purpose is to keep me at a safe remove from whatever I ultimately find.
I'm just going to say that ad hoc could also be said odd hack.
Oh
There's-
God.
There's no point. There's no greater point here. I'm just making jokes.
Okay.
Odd hack, but go off.
It's a not hack. Really? Okay. So that is if I do face danger with
I
expertise.
would say it's probably a wits.
Yeah, it's probably wits. Expertise, focused observation.
I'm sorry. Is this trying to?
Actually, I take this back.
I'm create the thing.
I'm facing danger to create the thing first, I guess, is what I'm
Yes.
actually doing.
Yes,
All right.
that is the first thing.
All right. The
So
first
you're
thing is the
making a
facing.
thing.
I'm making
You're
a
making
thing.
a thing to do other things.
Right. So first the face danger. Oh, I suppose the danger is like, am I going to make this thing that doesn't blow up in my face? Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it.
Right, and I can help with that.
All right. Yeah, Nils, lean in here. Absorb the
I'd like
blast.
helping, move the big equipment, hold things in place.
Yeah.
I do have
Hold
some
the two
mechanics
tape cables
background.
together while I weld them together.
Absorb the arc flash.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Lift heavy equipment.
What is she?
Alright.
So have her. I guess she should roll first then. Can you
Yeah.
hold this? I'm short one hand here. Come here.
Yeah, you're short.
That's just hurtful.
Yeah. So I would say you could probably roll this as an edge of you just being like, all right, I have to keep up with what Earl's telling me to do. All right, go through
Okay,
this,
as-
do this.
As opposed to iron, lift heavy things.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah. You go ahead and roll
I
that
get
for the thing. Yeah.
I get a 1 on that.
You get a +1.
There we go.
All right, so
Bada bing, bada
Earl,
bing.
Nice.
you get a +1 to your face danger, and you get your last bit of momentum.
My last bit of momentum. Lovely. All right. Perfect. Let me adjust my momentum here real quick.
And
I already
I
adjusted
would
your
get
You did?
momentum
Thank you.
myself, but
So I'm rolling wits, and I'm rolling a +1. Lovely. Awesome.
Yep.
I like-
You get +1. Yep, +1 from Nails' help.
Well, if this doesn't work, I can't say I haven't been put in position for it to work. So there we go. Oh, man, the opposition was weak. Good.
Yep.
All right. So strong
Yep.
hit on face danger, and the asset says
You have a +1 when using moves aided by the item.
nice. All right. So now gather information.
I believe so.
Is that about right?
No, that
All
definitely
right.
seems like the thing.
There's a Doctor Who thing. I'm almost sure it was the 11th or something like that. It's like, what that thing? Well, it's a thingy. It when it senses stuff, it pings. What kind of stuff? Stuff. Ping. Anyway, that's kind of what I've put together. It's a sensor thingy. It ping. Alrighty, gather information on wits. I get a +1 forward on that. If I roll a 1 on my action die when using it, it is permanently lost, broken, or depleted. Super.
Yep. In which case, you got to build a new one.
Well, that would have required me paying attention to what I was doing in the first place. So let's just see how I do so far here. Submit. Well, I'll continue to roll those 3s and 1s all day. I'm perfectly happy with that.
that makes up for last time.
It does.
Yeah,
My
you
di-
have not fallen through a hole.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, strong hit. I discover something helpful and specific. The path blah, blah, blah. Envision what you learn. Take +2 momentum. Hardly necessary. That's fine. So regardless of whatever else I learn here, I would say that that's probably advancing my the Navaran knowledge vaults, getting the vaults online and open to the column.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna ping that while you, unless you want me to, but while you kind of say where this gets me.
All
I'm
right.
doing the scanning and moving around and waving this thing
Yeah.
around like a bloody dowsing rod.
So I'm going to guess, based on kind of what we've been talking about here, your entire thing is like just trying to figure like your sensor. What you've got it set for right now is you're like tracking energy sources, because it's like, okay, all these data all these data cubes, they have quite a bit of power.
It's partly
Not as much as
it's
not
partly
as much,
that, and then like there's a query, like a very basic query that's being shot out to these things as we're going along, saying like looking for date ranges. Are you for this date range? No, never mind, carry on. And I'm looking for that.
Well, as you're going through here, and you're kind of like like you're kind of going through here. It's like, you know, the cryopods take up quite a bit of it. The data cubes take up less energy,
Sure.
but it's still like it's pretty easy to distinguish between the two.
Gotcha.
As you're kind of going through here, and you're kind of like, you know, as you and Nails have kind of wandered the halls here, eventually you come across what looks to be like a large trunk of like power. And at first you're like, oh, this is probably like the main store of power, like the main store of power to feed out into the rest of the system.
So like tree trunk, like a gotcha.
Like a
Yeah.
trunk line.
The first time you said trunk, I'm like a box? No.
No.
Gotcha.
No, it's like we always call like huge cable runs.
Yeah, like a big trunk.
trunks.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, that's where my terminology comes from.
Works
Anyway,
for me.
as there's an issue though, it never branches off.
So it's feeding somewhere that isn't here?
It's feeding somewhere that isn't
Or
here.
it's something really big.
And as you're going through here, you eventually like come to a wall, and it's like, okay, there's some like it can't just be going like you're kind of like going through here, and you're like, you know, your scavenger brain is like trying to figure all this out. As you're just like, okay,
Gotcha.
power goes here. I've been here. I've been here. And as you're kind of like mapping all this out in your head, you're like,
There's a blank space.
There's a big gap right here.
there's like a large section of this facility, and I'm saying large relatively because I mean this entire facility is huge and everything, but this is like, you know, you're talking about like in the grand scheme of things, like 1/20th of the entire facility.
There's a chunk. There's a slice.
But like there's a significant chunk of it. It's like, okay, this doesn't account for this isn't accounted for anything.
And it's using a lot of power.
And it's using a lot of power. How do we get to this thing?
Well, I know one way.
I
mean, is there a... Go ahead.
I don't like the idea of going through a wall, unless we have to. Is this like a box? Is this like a square in the middle of the larger thing, or is it like is this like a slice of a pie, or is it like a blocked out box in the middle of the whole facility? Like, could I walk around this dead spot?
You can walk around like it is like sectioned into a corner.
Okay, so there's an outside edge to it also.
Yeah.
So I can walk around 2 of the 4 walls if it were a square.
Yeah, essentially.
Well, let's figure out if there's an entrance. If there isn't, we're gonna have to make one. I mean, that sounds about right?
Yep.
Because I think whatever we want's in there.
Would Carter potentially have access to maps and plans?
I don't trust the maps and plans, to be perfectly honest.
Well, no, but there could be patterns discernible from that as well that might indicate where the passage
Yeah.
is.
So
For sure.
I will give you this because we've gotten a lot of information gathered here. Like if if Earl is like passing this along to the group.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Like, all right.
I think we found out where everything's supposed to be.
Cortex is definitely going to be like, okay, yep, you have no cameras that situate in there or any sensors that connect to the larger overall like network. Blaze, yeah, when you start like talking about that area, it's like Carter kind of like just reconfirms that. It's just like, no, I don't have any access to anything over there. It's not just a wall, and you can see him just be like. It's not that he doesn't trust that you guys have found something. It's more of just like, I've been all over this facility. If there was something hidden here, I'm sure I would know.
I mean,
Looking for it.
There's a wall, yeah, and there's a gigantic bloody power line running into it, or rather through it. And I'm one way or
I'm gonna
the
get
other.
a fusion torch.
Would it help to go the other end?
What do you mean?
I don't
Like
understand.
Where's the power coming from? There might be some that
off
might
the
provide
base?
some,
I mean, they probably
some
didn't label
indication.
it.
Well, we know where the trunk comes in.
Yeah, I think we walked past it.
Yeah. So I mean,
If-
we can go start there.
I mean, there
Yep.
could, depending on how the technology works, they would want to be able to get access to that. So there may be actual access crawl space along the trunk.
I'm thinking it's new construction, not old construction.
Yeah, I think they put this wall in. Well, new air quotes, but
But you still
Yeah.
want to always be able to repair,
Yeah.
repair your cable runs.
what are
Well,
they doing here?
Maybe you can from the other side.
What's
Anyways,
who's the head of the Daleks?
So
He's
Nails
sitting
whips.
back here.
Nails whips out the stud finder and starts running along the wall and sees what we get.
Is it gather information? Maybe figure
I
out
was
what.
just gonna say.
Go ahead.
Oh, Bill, what's your thing?
I can just go get a fusion torch from the shuttle. We can solve this real goddamn fast.
Well, that
yeah.
was my first thought, but somebody didn't want to tear down walls.
Well, I'm just worried that they might have put something in the walls that to discourage that kind of thing.
Or it could damage or destroy what's on the other side.
We're gonna give you access. Nails.
Anyways.
Do you want to cut through the wall?
That is fine with
Um,
me. If I've voiced my concern. As
I
long
mean-
as you heard my voice, then I'm good.
I mean, is there a spot where it doesn't seem like I'm going to be hitting something?
I'm gonna say probably. I can't
With
say
my
yes
high
because you
tech
could roll
space-
badly.
Where it
With
was,
my high-tech space age stud finder.
Yep. You find some place that seems like it's going to be reasonably safe. Like it's not like you're going to be cutting through like a power outlet or anything like that.
Are we good to do
probably,
this?
I'm probably going to want to wander down there and be a part of this, which means probably Carter's going to want to come down too.
Yeah. So is this a gathering of the minds at this point? Like Cortex shows up with a welding torch and it's just like, all right, here you go,
yeah,
Nance.
it's good. I mean, I like that.
The license plate for the mild-mannered mallard is literally "get her done." Okay, that's just fucking
Well,
do
yeah,
it.
we skipped over the whole thing of my working on the mallard while everybody was doing their initial.
Oh,
evaluation.
that's
We have not got a chance to do that yet. That's because murder mysteries and giant
Anyways,
forms and shit keeps coming up. That's
See, I thought you were going along with Blaze and Cortex to go talk to the Overseer. I didn't realize you were staying behind.
She
in
was
order
going to do a repair on the thing. Yeah, we forgot about it.
Yeah.
okay.
Margie, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize that was what you wanted to do. If you want to go back and do that really quick, I definitely will let you go with that.
I just want to know: did you
That's
just
just
now
taking a
remember that?
while.
Did you just now remember that we did that? And I'm just curious because I had forgotten.
What, the mallard?
Yeah, that you were going to do a review. Like, did it just like? Oh, wait a second! I was supposed to repair that bloody thing when he mentioned the license
No.
plate. Okay.
No. I have it on I actually have it on a vow.
No, I knew that. I was just wondering if you had just now remembered that
Oh
originally.
no. I didn't think about it. There wasn't a good place to jump in, so
Sure.
it was okay.
Cool.
All right.
Anyways, I get to cut down the wall.
This is good.
Yeah. All right. So this
So,
definitely sounds like a face danger, and you're definitely
Okay,
just
we
kind of
have-
like. This almost sounds like the definition of iron because you're just like, I'm gonna take this wall out.
Okay.
Maybe.
Everyone just standing back. Let me do this.
I'm gonna aid because I have scavenged
Okay.
many a thing and chopped
or
stuff out of
commit.
stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna offer unwanted solicit. You kind of lean into it more. Good God, it's kind of no, like a 45-degree angle. I'm like, what do you? No, I would like it to actually be helpful,
All right.
as opposed to
sounds,
that.
That sounds like an assist via wits.
Okay, let me just hit that real quick. Clicky. Oop. Ooh. Yeah. I am gonna. Yeah, I don't need a complication on this right now. As exciting as that might be,
Well, but I will tell you, because you have doubles on the challenge dice, that usually, or is it just with my thing with aiding, where a strong hit and doubles mean you get to.
So
No,
that's
how
it.
that-
That's
it.
only if you
Your bond.
succeed.
this
see,
is not success.
see,
This is not a success. This is a bad. This is the worst.
No, I meant if you burn
See, but-
momentum.
and this is an interesting thing, and I think it's a really key point to understand about the system. By burning momentum, I'm removing the challenge dice, so the doubles are actually gone.
That is correct.
Oh,
So it's
That's
you.
bad.
I can make it be a strong hit, but I can't make it be. I can't change it from a crit fail to a crit success, which seems fair. I can't change it from a 1 to a 20. I can change it from a 1 to a 13. Anyway, yes, I am going to burn momentum because I don't need that kind of love in my life right now. So,
Now is not the time for
What,
complications.
Neil's turning towards you and saying, will you shut up? And like the flame coming across your chest.
oh my God, that would be fantastic. And no, yeah, I would like I said, I would like my help to actually be help.
Good thing we're looking for that medical pod.
All right, so I'm going to burn for a strong hit. On the strong hit, nails take +2 momentum and a +1 on your move. So,
Okay. I
There you
don't
go.
need the momentum, but
well, la-di-da. Take your +1 then.
+1, always good.
All that
Alrighty.
momentum. But you know what? See, Dave, that's how you burn it.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
And I am also going to burn it.
Seems like a good
Because-
time.
Oh, yes. Man, the sevens.
Yeah.
The deadly sevens.
Yep. This would have been a weak hit, so it would have been at a troublesome cost.
There you go, burn.
All right. So you've burned, so that is now a.
Strong hit.
Yep. So at this point, you do get 1 momentum back, though.
Hooray.
So you're up to 3.
Besides the one that big. Okay, good. There we go.
Yep. So anyway, it takes you some cutting and some time, but eventually you're able to like get yourself like a sizable
nail-sized
hole.
hole.
Yeah, a sizable hole here. Like, probably enough for like 2 of you to walk through, but it's just like, basically so that you're not like having to squeeze through
Crawling.
molten metal that you've had, that you've cut through to make this hole. And so tell me, is Nails the sort of person where once you've like finished this up and you've kind of got it all done, it's just like turn off the welding torch and just give it one good kick and just let it like slam into the other side?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point, right? Making a
Yep.
hole.
So yeah, you give this thing a kick, and on the other side, you just see a bunch with like just a smattering of like lights on the inside, kind of like if it's nighttime at the office. Basically, it's just like you can kind of
The
see that there's
occasional, monitor light.
yeah, you can see that there's equipment in there and that it's running, but the lights are off and no one's home.
Good.
So I honestly, unless somebody says something, I'm going to walk in.
I think you're the right person to walk in.
I pull out my mag light and step over the rubble and step in.
Yep. So as you go in, you have found like this like sectioned off area of the entire place, and this definitely seems more like it was offices in the beginning than it was like part of like the cryo thing. And as you're kind of looking around, it's like the overseer's office maybe it wasn't the overseer's office.
Meh? This used to be?
Like that's kind of like the vibe you're getting. Like this definitely has like the
This should have been the administrative headquarters.
Or it
yeah,
was.
this definitely has like the seating for like it like for an administrative staff, as opposed to your control room where the administrator where Carter has been working out of. So as you're kind of going through here, you see where like one of the panels in the floor has just been moved aside, and like this huge trunk of like power cables has just been like dragged through, and from this part of the administrative office to another.
I think I found our power.
Yep, that definitely jives with Earl's sensor.
Okay.
I think we'll all kind of be walking carefully.
Yeah, for sure.
Is Carter coming with us?
Well, here's the thing: Carter's blind when you guys go
Well,
in there.
that's why I was asking with the big question mark.
Yeah, he has
Uh,
no connection to in there. He's like, nope,
Okay.
this is a giant blind spot for me.
Fair.
Do you want to send somebody in with us? Do you want to have somebody come in with us from your side?
Yeah, he can get somebody. I'll ask you, Nail, since this is your friend. Do you also want to grab Elijah?
Yeah, I think Elijah. Yeah.
All right. So
Carter can also probably plug into any of our communications devices to use as
He can hear us.
well, not just here, but to use as a substitute device, right?
possibly.
Like, I feel like his insight would be valuable in here.
Yeah.
Because he has that historical context. So we should arrange for that.
Okay. Well, that is definitely something I'll say. You guys could probably probably Earl can whip up something in a few minutes.
Yeah. And
It's
happy
not-
to do so.
Yeah, it this definitely is like the scrounging sort of thing, where it's just like, okay, this isn't gonna be great, this isn't what you're used to, but it'll at least work for like the next hour.
The knee bone's connected to the elbow. Shut up. It'll work for a couple minutes.
All right. So once you guys have gotten your crews together, and you're in there, yeah, what do? You want to follow the power cables, or do you want to do something else?
Well, I'm always impatient, so I would probably want to follow the cables, but I'm willing to listen to others.
Somebody was really interested in making sure that something stayed running long term. That's probably going to be central to whatever else we need to figure out.
All right, are we putting bets?
I'm betting
Fifth
we'll find the pod in here, and I'm betting we'll find someone in the pod.
Yep. Running
I'm betting
everything.
it's fifth over. I'm betting it's the fifth overseer taking a really long dirt nap.
Well, better than dirt nap, but yeah.
Trying to not take the long dirt nap. I don't know. Let's go.
All right. So as you guys follow the cable, eventually you come into another office area, and the first thing that you all notice is the pod. The second thing that Earl sees is data cubes.
Lovely.
And it's like
And my little thing,
or however many we're missing.
and my little pinging thing goes ping, 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 ping,
Yeah.
ping.
so.
Yeah, I told you it'd ping.
What do you do once you see the site and hear the ping?
I mean, do we feel that there's nobody here?
Is there anybody in the pod?
Well,
Or do we have to get closer to see that?
yeah. Who wants to approach?
I will.
All right. So Cortex, you go to approach. And as you do, the first thing you hear is just like this staticky like whine coming from the wall. Eventually, you're able to pinpoint the source is like some set of speakers, and you've seen the camera stations before, and you see those in here as well. You didn't see them whenever you were going through with Lincoln trying to ID the pod. So whatever this is, it's been segmented off. But anyway, you get this there's like synthetic, like almost like synthesized voice of just like, you shouldn't be in here. This area has been closed off for good reason.
What good reasons?
Like, there's important work being done back here. This equipment must be left alone. Close up whatever hole you made and leave.
What's the important work?
Like, the continuation of humanity.
Well, that's why we're here too. So we're on the same side. What's the important work?
Like, there was damage done to my physical form. I had to maintain all of the information that I had gathered in my time.
Who are you?
Okay, so you're in the nanopod. Who are you?
Yeah, so I don't have a name for this guy yet, and I'm probably just going to roll on a table unless somebody has a good name.
Entirely fair.
For the fifth overseer.
I'd say you roll.
All right. I'll go ahead and roll. Sorry for the delay.
No, it's fine.
I am Landrew.
Landrew. That's what we're going for.
Oh, God.
All right. Oh, jeez. Where is that? Where is my name generator I was using? Oh, table 285.
I like the idea that in character he's thinking about this because this is something he's spaced out on. Maybe this is like the pod doing damage to his memory.
I like it.
Having to access through his memory cores.
Processing.
Like he's remembered all the important stuff for so long he's forgotten things like that.
His
Oh,
name.
no,
I like that.
I'm throwing it down as a bit of characterization because I like the idea of reflecting that angle of, bad things happen when you put yourself in this pod. That's all.
Yep. But yeah, there is like a very long pause, and I'm not using that one. All right. If I is like, well, no, it's just like, all right, do we want to have another important character named Parker in a game? Or.
No. We're good.
And it's like, nope. All right, move on to the next table for that same number.
You can just adapt and say driver.
So eventually the name is like Paxton.
Oh, is it now?
At which point, like you can hear Carter be like, that can't be right. Paxton's dead. And, like Paxton did die.
You see our problem then.
Yep. He's like, Paxton did die, but the knowledge that Paxton had to be retained, and so this was set up, as a stopgap.
Hey, Paxton, are you living in those data cubes now or something?
And he's like, yes, part of my memory has been offloaded from my damaged wetware.
Okay, cool. The thing is that we're not interested in messing with your situation. We just really need a lot of data right now. So what we're going to do is ask you to be cooperative in us plugging into what you've got. We're not going to mess with you. We're just going to read data from that because there's a lot of mysteries going on here. We need to solve them pretty fast. Is that cool?
I can't allow that. The process hasn't been finished yet.
What process?
My transfer.
Okay, well, if you need help with that transfer, we'll help you with that. That's cool.
How long has his transfer been going on?
It's a lot of data.
I was gonna say, based on what Carter's told you guys, 15 to 20 years.
All right, so I'm going to go in there. I'm announcing this. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to check out your systems. I'm just going to look things over. So you be cool, and we'll be cool. And if you have any questions about us, you let us know. We're from the Astrid system. We're here to get the gates working again.
I'm like, no, the gates don't work.
Yeah, well,
Can't be true.
Well, why are we here then?
Well, we came from Astrid.
Like, no, he's like,
Yes.
you all have you have more of the look of the people you all have more of a look of the people of Mariposa, especially that one.
I'm going to produce some of the tools that I would traditionally carry around with me. I'm going to pull these people, my crew members in and say, like, check this shit out. This technology right here, this is generations past what your planet had and what your planet has. And you can verify that. This is not from the tech tree that you're familiar with. This is from another world. Take a look.
All right. So, yeah, it definitely sounds like Cortex is trying to convince him here of what you're saying.
Yep.
Can I support him on that?
Yes, you can. How are you planning on supporting?
Well, I have this high-tech arc welder that I'm
Waving
plugged
around.
in here. I'm just gonna pull things out of my pockets because I am a walking armory.
Of stuff that they don't have, yeah.
So
I'm going to sit there and be emotionally scarred by the fact that if he was indicating, oh, that one at least looks like he's from Mariposa, because that's just hurtful.
I think it was pointing at Elijah, but
Mariposa is a slur around here, okay? Just don't.
Just for me, probably, but okay.
No. All right. So nails, I would say, barring anything else, that's probably expertise. Just because it's like, here's all the things. Here are things you probably don't recognize.
So wits?
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be wits.
Gotcha.
But you do get your +1 on the roll, and +1 momentum if you get a hit.
Ooh.
You do not.
Weapons. That means Oh.
No, it's just a miss. I mean,
It's just a
not-
miss. So
not a complication.
let's see. On a fail, or on a miss, you fail or your assumptions betray you. So pay the price. So yeah, I haven't brought up the pay the price table in a while. Let's give that a roll.
Oh, left.
you managed to cut off one of your hands with the
Arc
the fusion
welder.
welder.
No.
Oh, where is that? Moves reference. Pay the.
It was a fumble.
Yeah, I should not be searching for pay the price when that is literally at the end of almost.
No. Well, it's in the thing. The table can be referenced in the off the game, or maybe that isn't true anymore.
Well, no, I have it in the moves reference. I was just like, where is it in the document?
Here we go. Pay the price. It's in the.
All right. So Nail, you start reaching for things. You're like, blowtorch. Reach into a pocket. That's when you realize, this place is definitely more protected than what you were thinking before, because a pair of security guns drop out of the ceiling.
Okay.
It's like, okay, now's the time to stop reaching into pockets.
Yeah, let's
Got it.
have weapons out. Tools, please.
Everybody just chill.
Yes, but you're like, okay, slightly more dangerous than we thought this was moments ago.
Yeah, this guy thinks extremely highly of himself. No, my knowledge must be preserved.
I'm going to try to swing this to our advantage, though. So clearly you have us outgunned, which means you can trust us because you're in the superior position.
All right. By the way, Nails, don't forget to mark on your failure track.
Yay.
You're getting there.
I think Joyce is still ahead of me.
I mean,
All right.
statistically likely.
Bill, so you're trying to convince this person. Are you using your one asset?
Yeah, I am using up our supply because I am basing this compel on the equipment that we have.
Cool crap. Yeah, nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And our supply goes down to 3.
Yep. And I can.
Don't have to worry about fixing that up.
Yep. So all right. So as you're kind of like going through here and kind of like explain, no, we are definitely not from around here. It's just like you can kind of hear like you can almost figuratively and literally see like the gears running as like you hear like the data banks kind of do that whirl up sound as like data's being accessed. And it's just like could be that I've been out for a very long time and advances have occurred without my knowledge. And you can kind of like all these things are like less like these are definitely falling into like the more justification than like reasonable.
It's a rationale not being
yeah.
rational.
Yes.
Recalculating.
Well, you know when you went down, and you can check the clocks on the facility here probably pretty easily. And if you can't, we'll wire you up so you can. You can verify how much time has passed.
All right. So he eventually is just like, it's just like, all right, you can access my data. You can access my data stores, but if anything untoward's happen, I am prepared.
Clearly, and that's why you should feel comfortable letting us do this. So what we're offering is give us read-only access to the data that you already have, and at your option, we can facilitate this transfer or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Because as you've seen, we're relatively well prepared and well geared. This doesn't have to be something that you do alone or on your own. All right? So here we go.
All right. So I would say
I want to ask though, like this went in a very different way than I had originally done it, but I have a vow that says unthaw some experts on Navarran.
this like now that you've gotten his cooperation, I feel like that is at the very least a tick on that track.
That's the troublesome vow. So that should be like what, 3 ticks?
Yeah, that is 3 boxes. Also, I would say at this point, you guys have definitely solved the mystery of the dead 5th Overseer's dead staff.
And we got we also got Carter's cooperation people too, right?
Yes, we did.
Is that more ticks?
Yeah, you can do more ticks for that. Anyway, well, okay. It's not so much you've solved.
We forgot the mystery of the 5th Overseer. We haven't confronted the question of,
Yeah, we found the data cubes, but we don't know why the others had to die.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm going to just say, if somebody wants to fulfill that, that's probably going to be the best way to answer that, which is...
Yeah, that's fair.
So if somebody wants to hit that fulfill on the Wayfinder sheet...
I'll do that since
you started the whole thing. Oh, hey.
And an opportunity.
All right. So you not only got this, you got this with some interesting stuff. So first of all, everybody on your quest track under progress, go ahead and mark 1 tick. I don't know how far some of you guys are. This might even fill a box.
Sorry, what are we marking the tick on?
On your character sheet. Under your progress, you should have your track for quests.
Gotcha.
1 tick.
Gotcha.
Because this is unfortunately just troublesome.
Yep, that's fair.
All right.
All right.
Hey, but that puts me into the 2nd box.
Hey, if you have, or have you filled the 2nd box, or are you just in
Oh
the
no,
second?
I'm in the 2nd box.
Okay, when you fill it, that's when you get more XP. All right. So here's some things that you find, or Cortex. Here's some things you find out as you're kind of going through here. 1, these are the missing data cubes, because there's data that Earl had been looking for that you find on them. Bad news: the data's getting overwritten.
Yep.
Well, then we need to start siphoning that out like too sweet.
Is it being overwritten by accident, or is it being overwritten like the victor writes the history?
No, it's like getting overwritten so that
He gets his backups.
Paxton brain has somewhere to go.
It's being overwritten sequentially from track 1 through.
So there is going to have to be some recovery done on that, where possible.
I will promptly get on that.
Non-destructive recovery.
2, you do have some access to some of Paxton's thoughts and memories here.
Oh yeah, we're getting that too. Like there's.
Yeah, which at
how
least.
how crackerjack are we?
So, bad news. Yeah, Paxton's entire thought process is being like spread out over 4 of these things, and he can't access them simultaneously. So, yeah, not great. So he's only getting like a quarter of his information at any given time. Also, some of it's still in his actual brain.
Okay, motivation. I mean, is he doing this simply because he feels like he was indispensable, or was there something specific that he felt he needed to preserve for the preservation of humanity?
Well, glad you asked that, because that is the next point on all this, so great interesting note on Paxton for you. This is the guy who was the what's the right phrase for it? The organizer for your vault.
Which vault?
Oh, the Mariposa?
The Mariposan vault. That's why he knows as much as he does about it.
And that's why he went after the thing.
Yeah, because he knew is like basically, your normal overseer gets about 15 years before it's like, okay, social ability and also health have just declined to the point where it's like, nah. He knew this thing existed, and that would keep him. That would probably be able to keep him going for much longer. In which case, he could have, he feels he could have done the same sort of repairs you guys have done, at least via the satellite.
Okay, so it's all ego.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Well, he's not necessarily wrong, but he killed people over it. Not to lose sight of that.
I'm still a little shaky on the why for that also.
That one is because,
just
because you have so much. Yeah, because you got an opportunity, I'll give you far more than what I probably would have. Yeah, that was more of a, all right, I need not to be disturbed for the next 50 years so that I can finish my uploading. And at which point...
So he just needed everybody who knew where the hell he was to just forget by virtue of being dead.
Well, he needed to not be disturbed or to have somebody else think, oh, I know better than this, I can handle this. So, Doris, this might also get you some information on what you need. As you're kind of putting all this together, he's turning himself basically into a Lincoln.
We definitely don't need 2 of those jackasses.
Yes, a Lincoln who is in charge of this area, because that's the other bit of information that Cortex is able to get is, yeah, you guys can't access this room. It can access everything you guys had in Navarre.
That's not awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that is probably a nice little, like, slightly, possibly unsettling revelation for you all. It's probably a good place to leave this thing. Because it's also like 10:30.
Yeah. Does this count towards get the Navarre knowledge vaults online and open to the colony? Another tick on that? Would you say?
Does it feel like it does for you?
I mean, we have got him to agree to let us access the stuff. I feel like the last bit is going to be getting his claws out of the frickin' pie. But this part, I think, is definitely progress. We just need to get him out of the mix.
However, this whole conversion method that he's doing definitely might help you in your whole help Algo rebuild yourself.
Yeah, which is another, yeah.
Does anyone else have any vows they feel this might have helped here?
I think if he's an expert on the vault stuff, I have one for acquire force field or screen tech like the Pharaoh satellite.
I'm sorry, what was that one again?
Acquire force field / screen tech like the Pharaoh satellite.
Yeah, you definitely have gotten yourself like an expert on those sort of things.
So I can mark progress on that?
Yeah.
I think I've made progress, at least on one level, on getting the Mariposans seriously ill and injured, get care for them in Navarre. They haven't actually gotten the care, but we have actually found the life pod. It's occupado at the moment, but we know that it works.
Yeah, that you're kind of on that same sort of thing with like both that and also like the fact that you asked. Like you definitely have gotten like the first set of marks on that one at this point. So go ahead and mark that. Also, since you guys have kind of like you've helped Carter kind of figure some of these things out, we're gonna say that he is definitely like you fulfilled that particular setup. So Carter has gone from connection over to bomb.
Ooh.
So let me ask you, what do you guys want his second thing to be now? Because before he was just the cryo dude, the cryo overseer. Do you kind of want him to kind of go more into that social governor side of sort of space, or?
He's like the one halfway reliable leader type on this planet right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I buy
It's
that.
either that or you make him even more knowledgeable when it comes to being a cryo overseer. So when it comes to like things having to do with Navarin and that sort of stuff, he can give you a +2 bonus instead of just a +1. Or he can give you access, or he can give you help on broader things.
definitely think we're going to need help on broader things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing I have that's close to this, I think, might be going negative, which is help protect and secure the vaults on Navarro.
I mean, you've
You've determined they're more secure than you thought they were.
yeah.
Or less, as the case may be.
It
Yeah.
depends on what, secure from, secure for, secure by.
Well, I'll say this. Have you solved a complex mystery or gained some vital support via what you've done this session for that?
I'll say that maybe not vital support, but definitely vital information.
Yeah, they can make guns drop out of the ceiling.
I feel like Carter's support and maybe the Fifth Overseer support would probably qualify. There's a lot of mysteries on this planet, and we're dealing with the two people who are best equipped to solve them.
Yeah, you just have Carter, who is knowledgeable, and as long as he's getting his way, he's perfectly fine. And then you have Paxton now, and it's like Paxton's a
Take the
bag of
fans.
paranoia.
Okay, so I think we can wrangle Paxton. Like one frag grenade into this room will put his project to rest. We don't need to bring that up.
We don't want to break the pod.
That can be in Nails' literal or metaphorical back pocket, but like we're not without some leverage.
It would be very regrettable
Well,
if we
and
broke the pod, but we do have tech on our ship that isn't as good as this pod, but it's
yeah.
pretty good. I don't know. I would. Is it safe to say that we don't agree with Paxton's assessment of his own critical necessity to the continued flourishment of the?
Well, I think that he has information that
Sure.
is probably potentially vital. Do we want him to become a Lincoln? No.
Yeah, a Lincoln that has to establish himself as a Lincoln by killing people is probably not who we want to have running operations.
Exactly. But I don't want to kill him because he's got knowledge. I don't want to just pull the plug if we don't have to.
That's
I'm
fair.
also pulling the plug if we have to. But I think because Cortex has, access into the cubes, we're able to, basically get as much data out as we can of what he's overwriting. We also have basically, other than his brain, access to his own information, which is an important thing.
Well, as with Lincoln, I'm now concerned about what control he's got over
I
things.
agree. But because we have access to the cubes now, we probably will learn that, I would assume.
Yep.
Since his plan is to empty his brain, it's not like he's like, squirreling that away.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Is there anything that I can do as a medic for the folks that are injured? I mean, is the infirmary here any better than what Lincoln had set up? Or can we just take everybody up to the ship that needs real help and do it there?
It's different. I'm not gonna say it's better. It's going to.
Okay. So
it's going to help in different ways.
okay.
And again, you guys kind of identified these people as more of needs long-term care that we don't exactly have the ability to
Right.
give at the moment, and that's
As
kind of why
opposed to-
the cryo freezing was a good stopgap option for him.
Mhm.
Right, but it was also, I also saw it as a good opportunity to try to, again, bind these groups together.
Yeah.
And it definitely is. It's just now you have more issues.
Yeah, we've got some higher priorities at the moment.
All right. So that was session what?
Session
8. Yeah, because last one was 7.
You're right. Session 8.
So you guys have 1 step forward and 2 mysteries open.
I mean, that's how it goes.
Or maybe it's 2 steps forward and 1 mystery open. Depends on how you see it.
Steps forward, then a jump to the left, then a step to the right.
That
Bring
Yeah.
your
feels-
engine tight.
painfully accurate.
Yes. Oh, that's another good point. Everybody gets a mark on their bonds track because you made another bond.
Oh, right.
Oh, that'd be under progress.
Yeah, it'd be under progress and it'd be bond.
Ooh, now we have a plus sign.
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, when you fill that box up, XP.
Delicious, delicious.
We're horrible people at making friends, so that
That
Well,
is
actually,
fair.
you're horrible people
Well,
at making
we got a
discoveries.
slow start to it. Yeah.
this planet is horrible for making friends.
I've actually got the potential
I mean,
for.
what counts as a discovery? Oh, go ahead.
You've got to kind of make it a like. You've got to say that this is a thing I'm trying to. I mean, I made it a quest, like figuring out the vow. My big epic one is figuring out what caused the gates to collapse or something like that. Really, that could be a discovery instead, maybe, or maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but it's.
Well, so discoveries are happen
When-
when you. Discoveries are what happen when you do expeditions.
So you've got to like set out to learn a thing.
Well, you've got to. You have to take. You have to undertake an expedition, and there's a possibility each step along the way that you could unlock discovery.
Gotcha.
Yep. Or I believe a couple of you guys have like moves that actually let you progress your discovery track too.
Yeah. One of my scavenging things does, but only if I like match on a hit.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not common.
But
It's just
that'll
like
do it, too.
Dave's who lets him get a. If on certain matches he actually gets like bonds progress.
Yeah. That loyalist has the same thing on a breakthrough milestone.
Ooh, he has to fulfill a vow of formidable or greater in service of his faith.
Nice. Question, and I don't know timing on this. I just realized that I could heal myself. I am down 1. Is that like how does that fit into the flow of things?
Yeah, basically. So as long as you're fulfilling the requirement of the move, which in this case is when you receive medical care or provide treatment.
Right, and I can give medical care to heal myself or other characters.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. In which case, let's see, mend your own wounds. Roll plus iron or wits, whichever's lower.
What? Lower?
Yep.
That's sad. But I get a +1 at least. Oh, there's a weak hit. Give me.
Weak hit. Let's see. You get +2 health, or no, you get +3 health up to your 5 though.
Right, but I only need 1. Can you say my weak hit as a 1?
A weak hit gives you 3? Holy moly.
Any hit gives you 3.
Ah, gotcha.
If you have wounded, it clears wounded and gives you 2. Otherwise, you take 3. So, yeah, heal is definitely one of those things. It's like get back from like very low, not top yourself off.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But now we know.
But on a weak hit, you lose either 2 momentum or lose 2 supply.
I will take the momentum hit.
All right.
Okay, there we go.
Yep.
Okay.
And at some point, Nails and Earl need to like sit down and just socialize a bit, or like find a moment to like sit back and like get a good meal.
Yeah.
We need to go drinking.
Yeah.
We'll leave Blaze to
Hey,
watch over things. The rest of us will go
Hey.
drinking. You don't need any healing.
I need drinking.
As I say, you get to make one of several moves that fall within
Make yourself feel better. Yeah.
heal, hearten, repair, or resupply.
We should get drunk and fix the ship. Fix the shuttle. That'll be perfect. Nothing ever
That
goes
won't
wrong.
hearten us.
Not in that order.
Get yourself a barbecue while also like working on the shuttle.
Hand me the moonshine and a wrench.
You know, we could light the barbecue inside the shuttle. That would make it much more convenient.
Never cook inside the structure. No, that's a bad idea.
Yep. And I don't know, maybe get somebody to like do like a car wash or something.
Hand me the hooch and the wrench in that order.
I like it.